talk about Stranger Things because, you know, all the controversy surrounding Stranger Things, what with two of the main actors in the cast obviously being pretty ardent Zionists and doing so in the middle of a genocide is pretty horrifying, and it really has tainted the ability to have anyone want to watch Stranger Things or support Stranger Things. But I'll have you all know this: Stranger Things has sucked ass for a very long time, and I know people will get mad when I say that, but it has. And I think everyone has to accept that. All right? Can we all accept that? Just like let's remember the good times. The first season of the show. The first season of the show was really good. All right? It was novel. It was original. It had an amazing cast. It didn't do the nostalgia porn to the point where it was just like, remember this? It was kind of just, you know, subtly being like, this was of the time period. Hey, you like Dungeons and Dragons, but we're going to actually weave Dungeons and Dragons into the core of the storyline. It had intriguing mysteries, had really, you know, fun, lovable characters, you know, 11 that you came to root for, and start to finish, you know, it's like a pretty solid, what, like 7.75, maybe 7.5. I'd say like a 7.5. You know, closer like to an 8 than say a 6. And so season 1 was great. Season 2 is just less great. It really is like one of the sequels from the 80s movies where you're like, the sequel's not as good, but I still had fun, right? Gremlins 2, do I remember it? Not that well, but whatever. Okay, it was just like a less amazing version of the first season, and that was 2. And then season 3 was just complete and utter trash. Like, they were clearly, they just got a buckload of money, and it was like, go out and make a spectacle, and then like now it's Stranger Things, the universe, and it's going to be action, and you know what you should really do? Make the Russians be involved somehow. That was the thing in the 80s movies. We all loved the Russians being the bad guys, so make the whole thing about the Russians. It was all a Russian conspiracy, and they live underground, and then they've got these secret Russian tunnels where they're trying to destroy the American way of life, because those dastardly Russians, they're evil. And I think all of us agreed, right? Didn't we? Didn't all of us agree at like, you know, Stranger Things 3? That was a terrible season. The show fell off. We don't have to be excited about it anymore. But I know what you're all thinking, and right now I hear you, all of you. You have a song playing in your heads, don't you? Maybe? Making a deal with God. I feel like some of you are doing that right now, because season 4 of Stranger Things, oh my God, what a tour de force. It returned. It brought us back everything we wanted. The intrigue, the mystery, it was so incredible. And Kate Bush, it had motherfucking Kate Bush. But I ask you this, was it as amazing as you remember? Or is Kate Bush just the shit? Is Kate Bush just such an incredible artist, such a seminal artist, such an incredible, amazing, just creative, that she was capable of making you think Stranger Things season 4 was better than it was? Because I challenge you to remember some of the plot lines outside of the big two. There's Vecna, there's Kate Bush, there's Rolling Up the Hill. All that was great. It's super great. Who doesn't like listening to that song 50 times over? And then they, you know, kind of did the Game of Thrones thing where they layered all the music together at the very end for the final fight sequence, and it was really neat because it had the Kate Bush song, but it also had the theme song to Stranger Things, and they fused, and you were like, oh, this is so epic and amazing. Wow, Stranger Things, it's back. And then there's the other part where, you know, 11 is basically you get to learn about her past, and you probably have visual images of some of the horrifying things that happened there. And that's all neat. And what else? Like, there's 13 hours of the season. What else happened? I was like, what were the side quests? What do the other characters do? What's happening? Can't really, for the life of me, really recollect that. And I could rewatch it, but I don't have to, so I won't. And that brings us to the new season. That obviously, I'm like, yeah, I just can't really be excited for this show. To be totally honest, with the whole Zionism aspect of it, it does make it pretty horrifying. And I agree with people who have been like, that's not fair to the hundreds of people who work on the show, the Duffer Brothers themselves, who've not made, you know, pro-Israeli statements during genocide. This was 2 of the main cast members. This doesn't happen to be the totality of all the rest of the cast. They could also be awesome in their own time, but it's not as if they really did like a pushback to You know, like you've seen other kinds of controversies that happen with like one member of the cast, say like Sydney Sweeney, for example, coming out as kind of like, you know, I'm not actually going to discount white supremacy. Well, there are other members of the cast of Euphoria who are like, yeah, I can't stand her. I'm not doing anything. Like Zendaya, who's like, I'm not going to be doing any press opportunities with Sydney Sweeney as long as she is the face of white supremacy. That's cool. She can do her thing. I just don't have to be involved in it. And I think that's, you know, a fair way to deal with, you know, the fallout of one of the cast members becomes really shitty.
Avoidable reality of growing up on a global stage. And one of the cast members caught in the middle of it all is Noah Schnapp. Noah Schnapp plays Will Byers, the emotional core of the early seasons, and the character who spent most of the story on the quieter, more sensitive side of the ensemble. Outside the show, he had a similar reputation. He didn't attract drama, rarely made headlines, and generally stayed out of internet discourse, which is why the first controversy he got wrapped up in felt so unexpected. It started during the peak of season 4. Joseph Quinn, who played Eddie Munson, became the breakout star of the season. His character went viral instantly, and one of the people who publicly joined in on the excitement was Doja Cat. At the time, she tweeted, "Joseph Quinn is fine as shit." That tweet blew up, and Doja followed it with a few more comments online about how much she liked Joseph. Eventually, she DM'd Noah, who was 17 at the time, asking if Joseph had a girlfriend and whether he could put them in touch. Noah treated it like a harmless, funny moment and posted a screenshot of the DM on TikTok. It blew up immediately, gaining millions of views within hours. When Doja found out, she went live on TikTok and spoke her mind.
To be fair, this is like a kid. There's no way he's over like 21. When you're that young, you make mistakes. You do dumb shit. You make mistakes. You're supposed to do stuff like that so that you know not to do it in the future.
She seemed to be coming at it from a level-headed and understanding place, but shortly after saying all of this, she let her real feelings be known.
But the fact that Noah did that, like went and posted a private conversation between me and him, is so unbelievably like socially unaware. You know what I mean? Like that's like borderline snake shit. Like that.
All these things are so distracting. It happens all the time when I watch people TikTok lives videos. I was I know it's like, you know, it's a feature you got to have on to be able to get like, you know, the what are they, the Grizzies and other things like that. And then the people are gifting you stuff essentially, right? It's kind of like subs on Twitch, but it also just becomes so weird, especially if you're having like a serious conversation, right? Like this is actually pretty fucked up that someone would leak private DMs between me. I didn't know they were going to do this, but like you're doing this when like sunglasses are popping up on your face.
That's like weasel shit. It's just exploitative. It's like exploitative behavior.
At the time, the reaction online was split. Plenty of people felt Noah shouldn't have shared a private DM, but just as many felt Doja went too far by publicly calling out a teenager. A few days after her live, Noah posted a TikTok video to one of Doja's own songs, and in the comments, he left a message that put the issue to bed. "Guys, everything is all good. I apologized and I still follow her and love her music. No hard feelings." The story ended there, and everyone moved on, until the following year when things got far more serious. The second controversy began after the Hamas attacks in October 2023. Noah publicly shared pro-Israel posts, saying things like, "You either stand with Israel or you stand with terrorism. It shouldn't be a difficult choice. Shame on you." This caused a strong reaction, but the next clip is what really escalated things. In mid-November, a video started circulating online showing Noah in a restaurant. He was surrounded by friends, and several of them were holding or passing around stickers that read, "Zionism is sexy," and "Hamas is ISIS." The timing made everything more volatile. The conflict was dominating global news, emotions were high, and even a small moment from a celebrity carried weight. For many people, the sticker wasn't seen as a dumb joke or a careless moment with friends. It was interpreted
because it's not. What the fuck? You can't just like start discounting this as like more additional drama. I know. I think the timing was kind of awkward, and obviously, the, you know, heightened tensions being what they were, a lot of people just weren't prepared maybe for his particular brand of humor. This is happening under a genocide. Right? This is children are being bombed every single day, being forcibly starved. Every other day you're learning about a hospital or a school or an orphanage where people are being blown apart. And you're sitting there in the comfort and luxury of being a super rich celebrity holding Zionism is sexy stickers, Hamas is ISIS stickers. That's profoundly fucked. Like, you know, in a more sane world, this would be career ending. No one would ever want to work with this individual again.
interpreted as a political endorsement, and the backlash was immediate. When I saw this on Twitter, I was literally rendered speechless. I have no words. This is heinous. I genuinely hope his career fizzles out and dies after Stranger Things ends. He's really committed to digging his own grave. Disgusting behavior. It became one of the most serious controversies any member of the cast had faced, and Noah was forced to respond. A few days after the clip got out, he posted a TikTok saying his thoughts and beliefs had been misconstrued.
I feel like my thoughts and beliefs have been so far misconstrued
by you? You were the one putting all that shit out there. I just want to be completely clear. This is way more of like, you know, you got the call from Netflix and they're like, we got some time. We definitely have some time here, all right? Like, it's not as if the season's coming out right away, but we're going to need you to do what is called damage control. Very, very severe damage control. We need you to kind of erase all of the fucked up shit that you are doing right now to the brand. Thanks.
From anything even close to what I believe. I only want peace and safety and security for all innocent people affected by this conflict. We all hope for the same things, that being those innocent people still being held hostage in Gaza to be returned to their families, and equally hope for an end to the loss of innocent life in Palestine. So many of those...
Even for a centrist, like, you know, Zionist perspective, this one is still aggressively in one direction. I just want to be completely clear, because I know some people were sharing this, being like, oh, it's not as bad. All right, he said that he just doesn't want innocent people to die. How brave. That's nice. Oh, that's wonderful. You don't want innocent people to die. Because, see, there are some people out there who do want innocent people to die. Israel! That would be Israel, because they're the ones massacring just tons and tons right now of non-combatants. Men, women, children, you know, in the fucking hundreds of thousands, actually. That would be Israel. So to sit there and be like, I want for an end to the conflict. I want all of the Israeli hostages to be returned. And, yeah, maybe stop the bombs would, I guess, be cool. So that, yeah, peace, right? Peace for everyone. More peace, please.
People being women and children. I think anyone with any ounce of humanity would hope for an end to the hostility on both sides. I stand against any killing of any innocent people, and I hope you guys all do too.
As with any public apology, reactions were mixed, but overall, there was little sympathy for Noah. How does one misconstrue Zionism is sexy? What a non-apology. Nope, he's a liar. Don't believe him. He's only afraid of being cancelled. To make matters worse for Noah, his castmate Brett Gelman, who plays Murray Bauman, poured fuel on the fire in an interview with TMZ, saying Noah didn't need to apologize.
Oh, I don't know if you know the full story here. He's actually probably one of the bigger celebrities in the pro-Zionist movement. He's actually traveled to Israel to do sketch comedy with that show. Basically, it's like the Israeli SNL. The same one that was doing all those anti-LGBTQ plus sketches. As soon as they realized that there was too many queer students in the United States apparently supporting Palestine, they started doing, like, you know, the whole queers for Palestine. Oh yeah, they'll love you there. Yeah, you're basically chickens for KFC style stuff.
At all.
Noah Schnapp just released an apology saying his words, his pro-Israel stance was taken out of context and misconstrued by a lot of people. And he said, you know, no, I care for victims on both sides. I know you've got a stake in it. You know, personally, I do too. What do you think about him coming out with this sort of apology and walking back things he said?
I saw nothing wrong with the original thing that he said, I will say that. He held up a sticker saying Zionism is sexy, and he said Hamas is ISIS. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and Zionism...
Hey, no one misconstrue what he's saying right now, okay? That's not fair. You have to be fair to these rich and powerful and famous celebrities, all right? Who knows what the meaning of any of these words are, really, when put into sequence. It's hard to know what he truly feels, and judge not, all right, until you understand the full context.
Is the belief that Israel should exist.
Right.
And that's sexy to me too. I think that if you're not for Israel, you are either consciously or subconsciously engaging in anti-Semitism.
Brett's stance alienated him from much of the public and shone an even brighter light on Noah. This before filming began on season 5.
Oh, okay.
The initial story came from the Daily Mail, which cited an anonymous source claiming there were pages and pages of accusations, and that the investigation went on for months. Sources with knowledge of the situation confirmed to Variety that there was an investigation into Brown's complaints, and that it was resolved. The complaints were reported to be non-sexual in nature. Netflix did not comment on the allegations, and neither Brown nor Harbour addressed them publicly. When the November 6th premiere arrived, Millie and David appeared together on the red carpet, smiling and hugging for photographers. When asked about the allegations, co-creator Ross Duffer told The Hollywood Reporter, "Obviously, you understand I can't get into personal on-set matters, but I will say we've been doing this for 10 years with this cast, and at this point, they're family, and we deeply care about them. So, you know, nothing matters more than just having a set where everyone feels safe and happy." In the days that followed, as the wider press tour began, Harbour was absent from several cast interviews he had consistently taken part in during previous seasons. His absence stood out, and although some insiders attributed it to a busy filming schedule, the timing felt convenient. This level of negative press is new territory for Harbour, but for Millie Bobby Brown, it's something she's been dealing with for years. Millie Bobby Brown plays Eleven, the face of Stranger Things from the very beginning. She joined the show at 11 years old, and by the time the first season finished airing, she was one of the most recognizable young actors in the world. So much attention from such a young age was both a blessing and a curse, because while she became the show's breakout star, she also became the most dissected. As the show got bigger and the cast made more and more public appearances, a narrative began to form around Millie, framing her as rude, overconfident, or attention-seeking.
That's our one problem.
Hold on, let me talk, Millie. Millie, let me talk. Millie, let me talk.
No, hold on.
1 second.
Now I'm gonna start talking.
Hey, shut up, Noah.
Videos like Millie Bobby Brown in real life is so rude, and no one likes Millie Bobby Brown racked up millions of views, with many more pushing the same idea. Critics claimed she stole the spotlight from the other kids, interrupted them, and tried too hard to be the center of attention. Some people defended her, but most didn't. And in the middle of all of this, everyone seemed to forget.
Why did anyone talk about this? That's what I'm wondering. Why would you make a video where you're like, this 11-year-old star of this TV show is kind of rude in real life? Divorce, like on the spot. I'm sorry, what? You how long did you spend making this? I just want people to know, all right? Everyone loves her because she's 11 on Stranger Things. But in real life, she's a rude 12-year-old, and then she has to learn better.
Yet she was still just a child.
Yeah, she's a kid.
When I was little, I went on a press
fuck?
tour, and I have 4 incredible boys that I work with.
Yeah.
And we would do press tours together and sit there. And I would get really excited because I have so much to say. And then I would be like, oh God, and I would talk over them. And they would also talk over me. But it was kind of like we were 12.
Yeah.
And I got absolutely so heavily bullied by the media for doing it. And I never spoke again in interviews because I just didn't want to even acknowledge the fact.
Jesus Christ, they were kids. What are you all doing, media? Like, just honestly, think to yourself, what is your life's worth if you are typing out a headline about a 12-year-old and being like, she does speak a little bit too much out of turn. Gotta be honest, she should know her place. I mean, really, what are we doing here? What are you doing here? Why are you writing this article? Why is it being published in a fucking tabloid in the UK? Like, she's a 12-year-old.
Fact that I was even in the interview, so I would just sit there deer in the headlights.
The overall hate storm was overwhelming, but this was just the beginning of her troubles. When Millie turned 14, another controversy emerged. In a 2018 interview with Access Hollywood, she mentioned that she texts with Drake, and that he sometimes gives her advice about boys.
What about your relationship with Drake? Tell me about your friendship. How did this all come about?
I love him. I met him in Australia, and he's honestly so fantastic and a great friend and a great role model. You know, we just texted each other the other day, and he was like, I miss you so much. I was like, I miss you more. He's coming to Atlanta, so I'm definitely gonna go and...
I remember this Drake thing, but that's his fault. Oh, absolutely. Drake, what you doing? Why are you DMing a 14-year-old? Well, I mean, she's famous, right? She's famous on Stranger Things. Yeah, that doesn't answer my question. Why? What potential possible relationship can you have in this scenario that isn't weird and creepy? You have no idea who this person is.
See him, I'm so excited, yeah.
What advice does he give you? Like, what does he say?
About boys, he helps me.
What?
Yeah, he's great. He's wonderful.
That's weird. That's fucked up. That's just gross. Drake, what are you doing? Again, this is a 14-year-old.
Love him.
What's his advice with boys?
You know, That stays in the text messages.
Online, people questioned why a man in his early 30s was messaging a minor, and even worse, telling her he misses her. Headlines appeared everywhere, framing it as an inappropriate relationship. In her frustration, Millie pushed back. She posted an Instagram story saying, "Why you gotta make a lovely friendship your headline? You guys are weird, for real. I'm lucky to have people in the business extend their time to help me further my career and offer their wisdom and guidance. I'm very blessed to have amazing people in my life. You don't get to choose that for me. It's nice to have people understand what I do. Now get back to talking about real problems in this world other than my friendships. Jeez." Once again, Millie found herself at the center of a controversy she had no real control over. From there, the public conversation around her only got more complicated. She kept growing up, taking on more work, and building a life outside the show, getting married, adopting a child, leading a successful film franchise with Enola Holmes, and running her own cosmetics and clothing brand with Florence by Mills. At 19, when most people are only just figuring out who they are, Millie had already built an entire adult life. But while her real life moved forward, the commentary didn't. The internet still talked about her like she was the same kid from the early press tours, and every new interview or appearance was judged through that old lens. Some of the commentary was brutal, not just from anonymous accounts, but from established podcast hosts and creators.
Millie Bobby Brown's kind of a bitch. We thought so. So we were thinking. So we watched Hot Ones, and we're like, she's probably kind of a bitch. She kind of seems like she's a bitch.
Any expression of confidence or personality from her could trigger backlash, even when she wasn't doing anything unusual. Her British accent became a talking point too.
I'm also like, these are worlds I'm just never going to be aware of. Like, there's podcasts where you just listen to people talking about whether or not other people are bitches. Yeah, I do not like her attitude, I gotta say. It is not becoming, and you know what's funny? I don't know if it has anything to do with the British accent like the narrator of this video is saying. I do remember the same thing happening to Posh Spice quite a bit. Like, a lot of people were always just like, oh yeah, she's so cold, she's so rude, she's so mean, and then afterwards there was like a backlash to that backlash. Then there was like an entire media cycle where it was like everyone just says that because she's a woman, and you know, there was a guy who acted in that way. He would be delightful and charming, like he would be fucking Hugh Grant could literally like spit in your face and you would be like, oh, what a lovely fellow. Yes, again, sir, please.
Shifting as she spent more time in the US, but treated online like she was putting it on or trying to sound a certain way. On top of that, her appearance became its own ongoing narrative. Every red carpet outfit, every photo, every styling choice was treated as evidence she was trying too hard to look older or aging too fast. The Millie Looks 40 meme cycle became one of the defining talking points around her, with people dissecting her makeup, hair, and clothes as if they were diagnosing something deeper. During her 2025 Call Her Daddy.
Okay, don't get me wrong. All this is gross and weird, and stop doing that. And who gives a fuck? Like, why do people spend... I just don't understand. There's so little time in the day. I'm happy to sometimes find like 20 minutes just to be like, oh, nice, I get to go back to playing Silent Hill F for a little while. The game's really fun. Just never can find the time to get through it. But you're gonna sit down and write an entire fucking article about how someone who you, I guess, formed a parasocial relationship with when they were 11 has grown up before your eyes. You know, how many times does this need to keep happening where people are like, too old now. What is with the natural aging process? Why won't they stay 14 forever? I don't know, my dude. I think like you should be in prison.
Netflix was constantly trying to take it down. Now they'll say it's for copyright infringement, even though I not only clearly fall under fair use or fair dealing here in Canada, as appropriate credits and acknowledgements to follow will demonstrate, but we both know it's because the overlords at Netflix land want to silence me, because my speech is dangerous. I'm a threat to their entire sick and twisted organization, and if you true believers can help secure my freedom, then we can battle the elites together in the battlefield of ideas. Even if ads are running, it's most likely this video isn't generating revenue for me or the people who help make this content possible, and it's thanks to Patreon supporters that we can actually do this. If you join for as little as $1, it unlocks exclusive bonus content. I've currently got a music video I just finished creating that highlights how all of our heroes growing up had one common enemy. To find out what it is, head on down to patreon.com/theserfs. That's patreon.com/theserfs. these movies would not be possible without the support of our executive producers, Political Papi, Monty Mondi, Words Greenwood, Riley and Anna, Sebastian Demmel, Omni, Roller Dragon, White 185, Preston Kroll, Anna Loves Riley, Comrade Junkie, Tigwick, Period, Stellar Gwyn, Bobby Lasers, Doug Caddy, Addercap, Hagbard Salim, Soulcar, Everything Important, Blue, and a huge thank you to everyone else whose names you see on the screen right now. The show would not be possible without them. And once again, if you have $1 to spare, go check out patreon.com/the Serfs.